Okay, thank you. That is interesting. I'm also having Alban saying maybe the chat is closed, but you can send direct messages to either me or you. She's saying 5m plus 10t plus 4b, that's an expression. Then Erin says 19 fruits. Okay, thank you. All these are good answers. But remember, our topic is actually directing us to where we are heading. It's saying algebraic skills. So when we are dealing with algebra, there are some things you expect. When you look at that question, you realize you have 5 mangoes, 10 tomatoes, and 4 bananas. And they are saying, can you combine them to make one combination? Yes, they are fruits. Who is that? Who is unmuted? Yes, they are fruits, but you can't basically add them to give you one solid fruit. So you'll have 5 mangoes, 10 tomatoes, and 5 bananas. Okay. So we are going to form an algebraic equation for these items. And when you're forming these algebraic expressions, you need to tell us what the specific letters represent. For example, you may choose the first letters of the items you've been given. Like I did, I formed let M represent mangoes, let T represent tomatoes, and let B represent bananas. So in that case, I came up with this expression, but after letting us know what M stands for, what T stands for, and what B stands for. So dear students, I want to encourage us that every time you're dealing with unknowns, you always tell us what that specific unknown you've chosen is standing for. I hope that is clear to all of us. And then, for example, some people gave us the answer. So please, you give yourself a baboon clap. I hope you all know how it's done. So if you got that answer, you can appreciate yourself by giving yourself a baboon clap. Okay. Unless there are questions, moving to the next slide. So we have an activity here. I want to ask us, what is an algebraic expression? You may not basically tell us the definition, but you can tell us what you understand by that term, algebraic expression. Any hands raised?
Not yet.
Okay, please, referring to the example we have just done, can someone say something about algebraic expression?
Gilbert.
An algebraic expression is when we use unknowns while carrying out calculations.
Okay, thank you so much, Gilbert. That is a good thought. Anyone else?
Tessa?
I think an algebraic expression is like a combination of different unknowns, like when they are put together. Yes.
Okay, that is good. Thank you. And do you have any answers in the chat or any hands up?
Priska?
An algebraic expression is an expression that is built up from an integer that is used to combine some operations.
Okay, it combines some operations of integers. Good try. Okay, so when we are looking at algebraic expressions, we're basically looking at dealing with numbers and variables. When I talk about variables, as we're going to see in our next question, some of you will be telling us what variables are. But when you're looking at an algebraic expression, like we've seen up there, you've seen that we had 5 mangoes, 10 tomatoes, and 4 bananas. So you realize that there is a combination of numbers and then variables, or what we call letters. So basically, that is what makes up an algebraic equation. It has unknowns and known numbers. Okay, so our next question, I've spoken about a variable. So what is a variable?
Pardon, madam.
Our next question, can someone read it for us and then they give us the answer?
Yes, let's hear from Priska.
What is a variable? A variable is a symbol and placeholder for a quantity that may change any mathematical object.
Okay, that is good, Krista. Thank you. Anyone else with a different idea?
Teacher, I also think a variable is a letter or a noun that represents a real number.
Okay, that is good. Wait, I didn't hear that last statement.
That a variable is a letter or a noun that represents a real number or integer.
Okay, thank
Then,
you.
the DES says that it's any unknown in an expression.
Okay, those are all beautiful answers. So that means most of us are conversant with this topic. So we are going to just enjoy through. Okay, those are all beautiful answers, and I don't really think I have anything to add to them. Basically, variables are placeholders, or they represent real numbers in a given algebraic expression. So as we are going to see, we are going to be interacting with those variables. So we have can I have someone read for us that question? Ruth, you can choose someone. Alvin, I think it's your network that has a problem, unless the rest are also getting the same problem.
Sounders.
Looking at the items around you, form an algebraic
Is it me, but sound seems to be breaking?
and share with the class by raising your hand or posting your answer in the chat.
Okay, thank you, Sounders. Okay, so looking at the items around you, form an algebraic expression, and we have talked about an algebraic expression having numbers and having variables, where those variables are standing in for numbers. So let's have some answers in the chat, or you can raise your hand.
Teacher Martha, you're muted. Your mic is muted.
Do we have some hands or answers in the chat?
Yes, in the chat, Kirin says 3 books plus 4 pens plus 12 pencils. Then she gives the expression as 3B plus 4P plus 12P.
Okay, that is good. Thank you.
Though these two resemble the 4P plus 12P, yet both are non-pencils. But then the next we have Karen says 10C for cows, and then 2G for goats, 4D for dogs. The expression is 10C plus 2G plus 4D. Then DES says 4B plus 3P plus 2D and gives the key, B to represent books, P to represent phones, and D to represent doors.
Okay, that's amazing. Thank you. But then the first one you read, especially most times when you have variables that have the same letters, at least make one different. For example, you can say let pens be represented by maybe E, then pencils P, but don't have different items having the same letter, because when you come to these variables, when you add them, someone might think they are the same items. So it is always good if you choose a different lettering. And then Alvan is saying 11H plus P plus K plus D plus A, though I don't know what the letters are standing for. And then Mitch says 2 tins of yogurt and 4 biscuits and 1 mango. So that is 2T plus 4B plus N. So someone was asking about variables. I hope now you're able to understand how we are dealing with variables. The variables are those letters in those equations. So basically that is what we have. I can see a hand up. Who is that?
Alvan.
Yes, I was saying that they are not clear. What I meant by 11 is there are 11 hens plus, okay, 11 hens plus one plate plus 1 book plus 1 fork plus 1 pen. The pen I used A.
That is good. Thank you, Alpha. Okay, thank you, everyone. And I hope we are now on the same page as for now. And the rest of us that have not posted in the chat, I hope you're doing something in your books. Don't just sit on and watch on. Okay. And then I have a simple assignment here. Ruth, you can read it for the rest.
Looking at waste management, did you know that you can form an algebraic expression during waste management? Surprised or yes?
Okay, so who can take us through what algebraic expression we can form during waste management?
Teacher, let me start.
Okay.
For wastes, we have different types of wastes: biodegradable wastes and non-biodegradable wastes. So for the biodegradable, those ones that are organic, those ones that can rot or decompose easily, we can get maybe and categorize it in what? Maybe buckets. We have been storing them in buckets because we cannot count them. So we have maybe about 4 buckets of biodegradable wastes, and we say 5B plus the non-biodegradable wastes, that maybe the plastics and polythene. Those ones we can have also the sacks that we have been storing them in, and maybe we can say 7P. So B plus 7P is my expression.
Okay, Okay, thank you, Ruth. That is very interesting. So what does this expression tell the rest of your friends? What can you get from that expression?
It means that we cannot mix wastes that cannot decompose, organic wastes with non-organic wastes. In managing them, we manage them differently. We cannot add them together. Like the maybe rotten pills, if we decide to dispose them off together with the polythenes, it will again crowd, yet we need to further dispose them, and yet we also need to recycle maybe the polythenes for income.
Okay, that is good. That is very brilliant. Thank you, Ruth. Do we have any other suggestions, maybe in the chat or in anyone raising up their hand?
Kirin, the chat says 23 polythene bags plus 3 sacks of banana peelings plus 44 plastic bottles.
Okay, did she give an expression?
Yes, 23p plus 3sp. Teacher, this expression is still wrong.
Okay.
23p plus 3sp plus 44b. The sp, I think, needed s just because.
Okay, that is good. Thank you for taking note of that. I hope she has also taken note. Any other?
No. Alvan has 2p plus 3s. Yes, 3s. For p for the organic and then s for the inorganic. Then 64G minus 24B plus 32G minus 12G. That is Gilbert Rex. Maybe he can explain.
Gilbert, you can raise your hand and explain what your expression means. Since you've given us some letters and numbers.
Gilbert?
Yes, please.
Explain your expression.
I've stated that it is 64G minus 24B plus 32G minus 12B. So the G stands for, the G represents the organic matter, the one that can easily be recycled, that can be, okay, it cannot faster than the inorganic matter, which destroys the environment. So B is for the inorganic matter, G is for the organic matter.
Okay. But I had as if your expression had 4 items, isn't it? Were they similar?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So when you're dealing with algebraic expressions, the things that are similar, you always add them together. Like you collect like terms. I'm sure you've heard of that term from even primary. So you basically collect like terms and bring them together. Okay, thank you, Gilbert. That was good. So this teaches us that even when you go back at home, maybe you have those organic substances, those that can rot and those that cannot rot. Don't put them together because the ones that do not rot, you may be able to use them for different activities. When we're in the farm camp, we looked at how you can put those polythene bags into another use. Maybe you can plant your seeds in there. You can make different materials. I've seen sandals made out of buveras, like you combine them and make a pattern. I've seen some chairs made out of buveras. You make a pattern and then you form those chairs. So let our minds open up as young students and come up with different innovative challenges on how to manage waste. Let's work together to see that We help our communities, our homes, our schools to manage this waste. Otherwise, thank you for those contributions. So we have an activity 2 here. And this one will require you, I hope everyone came with a pencil, a pen, and a book, because we are going to be doing some calculations together. Can I have someone who hasn't said anything to put up their hand and read for us this second activity? Please, if you haven't said anything yet, just read for us the questions.
Mariam.
Examples: if A is equal to 4, B is equal to 7, and C is equal to 3, calculate.
Okay, thank you. So we have these 2 questions. Can we try them out in just 2 minutes? 1 minute for part A, 1 minute for part B. And then we have some contributions in the chat and some people raising up their hands to tell us what to do. Gilbert, are you already through and you want to take us through?
Yes.
Okay, which part?
Through part B.
Okay. Let's start with A because we need to flow with the rest.
For A, Katrina says plus 7 is equal to 13. And yes, Aaron gives for both, but Gilbert will take us through that.
Okay. Gilbert?
So in part B, the main thing about this question, it includes substitution.
Okay.
So the question says 2A plus B. So 2A is the same as 2 times A.
Okay.
Which gives, when you substitute the A, you get 4. So 2 times A plus B.
Plus B. Okay.
Then we substitute saying 2 times 4 plus 7.
Okay.
Then we carry out board mass. We said that multiplication first. So answer is 8.
8. Okay.
Plus 7.
Plus 7. Which gives us
15.
15. Okay. Thank you, Gilbert. That is good. I hope we all have the same answers. So basically what we are doing here, we look at the question. They are telling us A is equal to 4, B is equal to 7, and C is equal to 3. And then they're telling us calculate part A, 6 plus B. So you look at your question and find out what is representing B. And in the question, you realize that B is equal to 7. So where there is B, you come and feed 7, which gives you 6 plus 7, which gives you 13. So basically that is how we got part A. And then part B, we have to substitute, as Gilbert said, we have A and B, and they were given to us in the question where A is equal to 4 and B is equal to 7. So where these letters are, you put the number that was given to you initially in the question. So you have 2 times 4 plus 7. And when you look at board mass, we realize that we have, who can tell me the meaning of these letters? You can raise your hand and you tell us what each letter represents in this word.
Let me see. Shanita.
B represents brackets.
Okay.
Shanita, go on.
B represents brackets.
For the whole word?
The whole word. The meaning of the whole word.
B brackets, then O represents of, D represents division, M represents multiplication, A addition, then S for subtraction.
Okay, thank you, Shanita. So basically that is what BODMAS stands for. And when you look at this expression, we have multiplication and addition. And when you look at this BODMAS word, we have multiplication first, then addition next. So we'll have, please, if you're not communicating something, can you please mute your mic because it is producing a lot of feedback. So we have the multiplication first, that means you have 2.
Teacher Martha, please unmute.
Thank you. So you'll have 2 times 4 plus 7, which will give you 2 times 4 is 8 plus 7, which gives you 15. So basically that is what you were expected to do. And we still have some numbers following that. And still you're going to try them out. And then you tell us how you have done them. Okay, we have part C and part D. Let's try them out and still post our answers in the chat. And please, as you post your answer, post with the working, don't post the answer only because you might have a wrong answer. Sorry, a correct answer with the wrong working. So please tell us how you got it. Any responses? Please, if you're through, you can raise your hand. Of course, we will choose the first 2 people that raise their hands, and then the rest you can share with us in the chat.
Alvan's hand went first. Please let us know.
Okay. Okay, part C. What I did, it was a B, so, and in between those variables, there is a multiplication sign. So it was A times B, and then I had to substitute it.
Okay.
So I had, okay, can I go on?
Yes, please.
So I had to get 4, which was A, times B, which was 7. So it gave me 28.
28, is that what we all got?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Alva. Another person for part D.
Yes, for part B, let's have Lona.
Yes, teacher. For part B, it is A into brackets B minus C, which is A is 4, B is 7 and C is 3. So following BODMAS, we have brackets first. So we first solve what is inside the brackets. And in the brackets, we have 7 minus 3. Then we multiply. We remove the brackets and we multiply 4 times 4, which is got out of the 7 minus 3. The answer is 16.
Is that what we all got?
Teacher, I have another method which is usually used in algebra. I don't know if it's simpler or harder, but because A is outside the brackets, A goes into B and also goes into C. So if it's 4 times 7.
4 times 7.
Minus 4 times 3.
4 times 3. Okay.
And then I have 28 minus 12 to give me 16.
Minus 12 to give me 16. So this is the distribution method. You can also use it in solving such problems in algebra. So basically you can use those two to give you that answer. I hope, yes, please.
Priska has not understood the first number. Maybe she can unmute and say which first number she means. Priska?
Example number 1.
The one of 6 plus 4b. Priska, give me the one of 6 plus b.
That one, the one of 6 plus b.
Okay, Gilbert's hand is up. I don't know whether he also has a question or he wants to explain to Priska.
Gilbert, unmute. Let me see. Please unmute.
So the question says 6 plus b. So in order for us to get the answer, we have to first substitute the b. And in the main example, it says b is equal to 7. So we shall say 6 plus 7, which is 13.
Priska, are you able to understand that?
Yes, teacher.
Okay. Thank you, Gilbert. And thank you,
Welcome.
Priska, for that question. Okay, so moving on swiftly, we are going to something else. Thank you all for your contributions. That was good. Okay, so we have another set of simplification that we need to do. And we have 2 in this case. So still we are going to try out in our books and then we can share thereafter. Still we'll take the first 2 hands that will come up. Ruth will be taking note of the first 2 people to raise their hands. And meanwhile, I'll be posting the registration link. So please endeavor to register.
Teacher, the first hand. See? The first hand was Gilbert's again.
Doing number 2.
I'm starting with number 1.
Okay.
Let Brian do so.
Yeah, I'm doing number 2.
Okay.
Number 2 is negative.
Teacher, should they start
I'm doing.
from
Can we have number 1 first, please?
Jovia?
Okay.
Good afternoon, members. I'm doing number 1.
Okay.
They have told us to simplify the expressions below. So number 1 goes, it's 2 bracket 3m plus 2.
Okay.
So we are going to open the brackets by multiplying the numbers inside by 2.
Okay.
So 2 times 3m plus 2 times 2.
Plus 2 times 2. Okay.
So that's 6m. 6m plus 4.
Okay.
Plus 4. That's the answer.
Jovia, why don't we add these together to get at least 10m?
Because they are not like terms. They are unlike.
Okay. Thank you, Jovia. Because someone may be wondering why we can't add them. So you realize that this 4 has no unknown. And for example, if I was to assume that m is for mangoes, I would have 6 mangoes plus 4. So that means they cannot be added together. So you leave it at that. So you have simplified the expression. I hope that's what we all got. Okay, Ruth, let's have someone to us too.
Let Brian do so.
Yeah, number 2. They told us to simplify the expressions below. Number 2 in particular, they've said negative 4. We are going to use it to open the brackets. So it's negative 4 times 3, then plus negative 4 times m. The answer there we shall get negative 12 minus negative 4m. For m.
Okay, what happened to the plus Gilbert? Okay, sorry, that was Brian. What happened to the positive sign Brian? Because some people may wonder where you got that negative from.
Yeah, when you multiply a negative times a positive, we get a negative.
Okay, that is good. So please, when you're explaining, you let the rest know that you multiply those two symbols to give you a what? A negative, because someone might be inside there wondering what happened. So thank you, Brian. So we have negative 4 times 3 plus minus 4 times m. So at this point, someone may not come direct here and they first say 12 plus, sorry, this is negative 4 plus negative 4m. So at this point, when you multiply these two symbols, they'll give you a what? A negative, which brings you back to what Brian was giving us. I hope we are together. So basically, your answer would be negative 12 minus 4m. Okay, as I said, we are doing revision, but please, if you feel left behind, don't hesitate to ask You can raise your hand and ask your question. So basically, that's what I was doing there. And then we have 3 and 4. And please, let's have some new hands coming up to discuss with us.
Teacher Hillary's hand went up first. Maybe she can start us off. Hillary, please unmute. Okay, let's hear from Tessa.
Okay, for number 3, it's -5 into A minus B. We open the brackets and say -5 times A plus 5 times B, since a negative multiplied by a negative gives a positive. The answer will be -5A plus 5B.
Thank you, but please, who was that?
Tessa.
Tessa.
Tessa, please, Tessa, as you're telling us that a negative times a negative, you have to show that in your working. Don't just make it disappear. Because
Teacher, you've made
Sorry?
Made a mistake on the first working. There is a negative missing near 5. Because this seems to be minus.
Okay, thank you. So we have minus -5 times B. So this negative times this negative gives us a positive, which gives us +5B. Okay, that is good. And then for part 4, and please have posted the registration link in the chat. Kindly go ahead and register.
For part 4, Jovia.
Yes, Jovia.
Part 4 is 7 into bracket A minus 2B bracket. So the answer is the working 7 times A minus 7 times 2B.
Okay.
What's 7A?
7A.
7A minus 14B.
Minus 14B. Okay, I hope that's what we all got. Thank you. So I think this topic is not all that hard if you master what you're meant to do. And please, those unknowns can stand for anything. That means maybe you're working out the number of apples and bananas. So you can always relate them in that way. Let math not only stay in class, but apply it everywhere. Okay, we have number 5 and number 6. We are moving on from simple to bit that is more logical. I can see some people, teacher, me with a problem of not hearing only. Jenny, sorry, I don't know whether it's your network because the rest seem to be hearing well. Maybe just try to follow what we are doing on the whiteboard or something. Because for now, I don't really know. Maybe you can log out and then log back inside. And thank you for these answers you posted in the chat. And please go ahead and register, posted the registration link. I don't know whether Ruth has the links to the Padlet. Maybe you can also share them because this.
Okay, let me share it.
This work will be posted on the Padlet. So for those that want to review, you can always visit the Padlet and try out some of these numbers. Okay, I can see some hands up. Who do we have here? Hillary. Dintos, is that the pronunciation? Which number are you taking us to?
I would like to do number 5.
Go ahead.
Excuse me?
Go ahead.
Okay. For number 5, we are going to move this straight over here. Number 5. So we are going, I'm noting the option to write on the screen.
Well, you can discuss as I write for you.
Okay. Well, for number 5, we are going to say 3 times 4x into brackets plus 3 times negative 2 into brackets
minus
plus After we say 8 times 2x into brackets plus 8 times 3.
Plus 8 times 3, okay.
So this is going to give us 12x. This will give us 12x plus negative 6
plus negative 6
plus 16x and plus 24.
Okay.
Well, when we go to the next stage, this will give us 12x minus 6 plus 16 x plus 16x plus 24.
Okay.
And then we shall collect the like terms together, and the like terms are 12x plus 16. And then minus 6 plus 24.
Yes, 24, okay.
Here our answer will be 28x minus it will be 28x minus, let me see. This will be 30. This will be this will be 18.
Is it a negative or a positive?
It is a negative.
Are you sure, Hilary?
Yes.
If you had 24 mangoes and you gave out 6, would you remain with the negative 8 mangoes?
No, I've said negative 18.
Really? Because this is a smaller value, and then the positive is a bigger value. So you have 24 as the bigger value, and then the smaller value is the negative one. So it is simply having 24 minus 6. What does 24 minus 6 give you?
Gives you 18.
Yes, so it is a positive, not a negative. Do you get my point?
Yes, I do.
Okay, otherwise, thank you so much. That was
Welcome.
good. Yeah, so basically what we did here, you may skip this first step for some of us, and then you come to directly this one here, the third step. Then you will have your 12x plus 16x giving you negative 6 plus 24. And since the negative is a smaller value, and then the positive is a bigger value, that means it will give you a positive digit, which is 24 minus 6, which is the same as 18. So I hope we take note of that. Okay, any questions before we proceed?
Teacher, someone is saying that you're low, your volume.
Is it so? Because I feel like I'm really talking now, but okay, I'll try to project my voice. Okay, that was number 5. Can we have someone take us through number 6?
Tessa.
We open the brackets, which is 4 times 2x plus 4 times 6 minus 2 times 3x plus, minus 2 times 3. Then we have 8x. 8x plus 24 minus 3x minus 6x minus 6.
Minus 6x minus 6, okay.
We collect like terms, and so we shall have 8x minus 6x plus 24 minus 6.
That's 24 minus 6. Okay.
Shall have 2x plus 18.
Plus 18. Is that what